Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome you to DeVoid monthly tournament, the last monthly tournament of the year 2025. It's 14th of December, and we are looking at the grand finals, or the finals of monthly tournament, which is the best of 5. Between these two guys, which are actually playing a rematch because they already played the semi-finals, which Kalyxo won, but we'll see how Teino will do that. So you are looking at the main base of DeVoid, Kalyxo, who is playing Zerg in the purple colors here on the left upper corner of 10,000 feet, and he is playing against Shango Teino, which is playing Protoss in orange colors here on the bottom right corner. So far, as I know, Kalyxo did win Teino 2-0 in semifinals. I faced Teino in lower bracket finals, best of 3, and I lost miserably, as per freaking usual. Protoss is my weakness so far. So it's an honor for me, first place, to see how to deal with the Protosses now, and probably for you guys too. It's going to be quite an interesting. It's not a mirror matchup, not a Protoss versus Protoss finals. It's Protoss versus Zerg. So there is a probe of Teino scouting out. The Teino is opening quite standard. He goes for pylon, gateway, then into Nexus and Cybercore, or Cybercore Nexus. Sorry, didn't pay attention exactly there. And meanwhile, Kalyxo obviously has spawning pool, goes for double queen. The third expansion should be dropping somewhere around now, at least on this supply. Yep, there is a drone. This probe of Teino is too late for that. He's checking if there could be a third expansion over here at this corner, which is very unusual on this map. So for those who doesn't know, 10,000 feet has this mineral blocked third triangle position, which actually is really vulnerable. I think in ZBP that's really favorable for Zergs, because Zergs can stage up their like Overlord drops, their Niduses and whatnot. I didn't abuse this against Teino particularly. I should have probably done that, but yeah, I was a little bit too slow for that. And it looks like he's already ready for that kind of stuff. He's opening Stalker first, going for Wargate, going for Adept, going for Gateway number 2, and his tech of choice is going to be Twilight Council. Well, he didn't manage to stop Kalyxo from getting the third base, which is going up over here, and there is the Queen spreading the creep, and there are already some lings in the action. So it's 4 lings. I think they are going to be sent to scout out probably the possible expansions of third, if such are in planning, and Teino is indeed going for third expansion right now. It's gonna be scouted by Kalyxo's Zergling over here. It takes 1 hit from the Adept. There is the other Zergling, there is the other Zergling. So they are pretty much well aware of what is the situation right now. Kalyxo drops a Roach Warren. He has saturated his natural. Meanwhile, tech of choice here from Teino actually is going to be Glaives. Again, he did use the same strategy against me. That could be quite popular thing. He's going for Robotics Facility and Gateway, which means that he is planning... This third actually is kind of fake, because he is planning to pump Adepts with Glaives in mass. He kills off the scouting Zergling, which sees the move out of double Adept. There is halfly saturated third base. There is Evolution Chamber now being built. The second gas is there. The actually lair is being taken. Well, the drone count is quite big enough. There are 3 more roaches joining in the fray right now. And double Adepts are dropping here on the mineral line. They successfully get, I believe, 3 drones. Well, that was not the favorable trade, I would say, for Teino, but it's decent enough. Well, I would say, yeah, workers, it's kind of less worker damage dealt than actually taken. Well, the Adepts have researched their glaive for sure. And actually there is a charge researching, and yeah, Teino started charge research. He's going for Forge. He's pumping out Immortal from Robotics Facility. That's quite a narrow gap there, but yeah. Meanwhile, Kalyxo is going for +1 for Roaches, the ranged attack, and he is making a hatchery here. Sorry, didn't have the production open. The layer, yeah, finished, so there is Hydralisk then here from Kalyxo coming up. So, not that kind of aggressive push from Teino this game. There are a couple of Stalkers here. He's still, yeah, obviously researching charge, and he's doing the gateway explosion, so he is about to push free base kind of situation, which Kalyxo is actually doing himself right now. I believe there is a roach speed. No, there is no roach speed yet. There's actually Hydra speed being researched. No roach speed, just +1 for ranged attacks for the roaches. And Lings are here just to support that. Lings have spotted the glaives and going back, and actually Kalyxo is going for Nidus. That's an interesting turn of events. Is he going to try to get the Nidus in the main base? That could be the case. The Forge is starting +1 for Protoss player here. Meanwhile, Kalyxo is providing a lot of roaches, and he's putting all of them into the Nidus. So that might be a Nidus which is coming here in 6:30. Teino has no idea. He hasn't spotted it yet. He has like 3 Immortals. That's really good amount of them to deal with roaches, and there is one more Immortal joining in, but the Nidus have popped unnoticed here in the main base of Teino, and the roaches and Lings are starting their work on the gateways. The question is, will they be able to do anything else? Couple of them are pulled. Yeah, the all army has been pulled right now by Protoss player over here. They successfully killed one gateway, and they did do some damage here. Nope, have another gateway down, that's for sure. Let's see what was the stuff lost. It was 10 roaches lost, 10 Lings lost for 4 Stalkers and a little bit of Adepts and 2 gates. It's still efficient trades for Zerg player over here, which is obviously having the 4th base, could be saturating that. He has finished +1, he's building some Hydras additionally to his army. He is going for +2 ranged attack upgrade, which could give him that boost. Well, the Hydras, which are like 10 more Hydras are being built, and much more Zerglings are being built here. They could be getting hurt from the charged lots if there are big enough amounts of them. The economy-wise, I would say that both players are quite in equal position, except the fact that Teino doesn't have the 4th base, but he has the ability to make charge lots, which is really good for him. Oh, he's actually expanding here, kind of secretly, a little bit, but Teino indeed needs a charge lots right now, I would say, for his own good, and he indeed is. No, he's going for Adepts. Interesting choice. But there's like 5 Immortals. That could get rid of the roaches pretty easy. The question is, how will it deal with Hydras? I don't think that would be really successful, but eventually it looks like it is for the Protoss player here. The amount of Hydras have been reduced, and there are some roaches joining in. And only now the charge lots join in. Anyways, Hydras finished their range upgrade. They're going for +2, is going to finish soon. And actually, Zerg player is going for the base number 5 in here. Meanwhile, well, the Protoss is mining now the mineral lanes on the ramp, going for Templar Archives to get the Archons mixed into the composition and maybe go for Storms. Meanwhile, Zerg is attacking. The army supply technically for Protoss is a little bit bigger, and I think those Immortals can actually do a lot of damage if they want to. Protoss is going for +2 right now, and +2 is going to be finished here for the Zerg player, and his attack has been shut down completely. Meanwhile, Zerg player is going for the Lurker then, going for Infestation Pit, so the transition might be into some Roach Lurker. 33 roaches coming up in the same time, The worker amount is still very similar here, which is not actually advantageous for Zerg player, to be honest. There is a run by of charge lots right now joining in. They will meet the big pile of roaches over here, that's for sure. There's 3 mortals and stalkers coming out over here. This run by actually has been left alone and not paid enough attention. The Protoss player is recalling his units, his main army. Meanwhile, he has killed whole mineral line of Zerg player here at his 3rd base. That's 21 drones going down, and that's giving the advantage for the Protoss player quite a bit. Zerg player is starting +1 armor, and he's going for Hive right now to get those lurker upgrades. Stocking up on gas maybe a little bit, but yep, there we go, getting the gases. Needs to re-drone his 3rd base. The counterattack now is coming from the Zerg player. There is still no roach speed, but there is +2 ranged attack upgrade here for the roaches. There is 2 Artosis pylons pretty much, which are not making this safe. There's 2 Stargates here and the Robo Bay, but Robo Bay was cancelled. First Immortal is first to the coast. There is a couple of Archons here, which are going to be protecting that. There is also Night Swarm popping by. Some roaches are chasing after that, but I think this attack will be held by this big force. I believe there was a couple of gateways going down. That's like 3 gateways going down. The Stargate was no, but the Robo Bay was cancelled. And Teino chooses to go for double Void Rays. I would not say that's the best choice, since you know that there is bunch of Hydralisks possible in the opposite side, and Hydras are pretty much countering the Void Rays in mass, so that might not be the smartest idea, but who knows, maybe Teino knows something I don't. Actually, some of the Immortals fell. It was like 2 Immortals fell to that attack, and the +1 armor, +2, +1 is kicking in. The army supply now is in favor of Zerg player. He's pushing out with some roaches and hydras. There is the double Void Rays, but will they manage to do the damage? I don't know. There is Biles raining down, and 1 Void Ray pretty much fell down kind of to the Biles, and add additional hydras here. There is Stalkers being gotten in. I believe the charge lots again, once again, charge lots in my opinion would be superior units right now in big mass, and the Void Rays are not really. There is +3 coming up from the Protoss side of things. The Zerg is harassing him by sticking in corner and dropping the Biles to zone out the army of Protoss player. Meanwhile, Protoss player is taking 4th base over here at this corner, on the left side corner, left bottom side, so he could be safe even if he loses this base. And the Biles keep raining down on the army, and now there are Void Rays. I think both of them will go down gracefully to the Hydras, but no, actually no, one of them did survive, but there still are Hydras. Those Biles did take their Hydras, did take down. The army is not actually participating in the fight. For some reason more High Templar are being summoned in. There's not enough mineral income, I think, for the Protoss player here to actually be going for charge lots in the mass, which he would really need right now. Pretty much most of the production here at the 4th base has been shut down by this attack. There are lings flooding in from behind. Has Zerg player actually gone for the lurker upgrades? No, he has not. The +3 has finished here for the Protoss, and Zerg is remaxing on Ling, Roach, Hydra army. Meanwhile, Protoss player has saturated his extra. Now it's 5th, actually. It was kind of supposed to be the 4th, but now it's 5th. Still holding his own oaths to Void Rays, joining in some more Archons in the army, and going for +1 armor upgrade, which is crucial. I feel like the Protoss, at least this Protoss, is kind of underestimating the charge lots, because I believe there are no armored units over here, so it's only Zerglings, Hydras and Ravagers, and charge lots would just tear them all apart. but the mineral income here from the Protoss is actually not that big also. He's going to lose this fourth base actually to this little bunch of Hydras and Ravagers. Anyways, this force is going to punch it back a bit. The Archon has been lost. There's 2 Immortals, 4 Stalkers and 2 Void Rays. The army supply technically is in favor of Protoss here. He has more. I don't know where exactly that is. I guess there is one more Immortal coming in. And it's 80 army supply. No, it's 80 workers, sorry. The army supply is equal. It's workers 80. So technically the Protoss is getting more economy, pumping his own resources. Okay, what has Zerg been doing? He has no upgrades joining in. He's turning 16 Roaches into Ravagers as we speak, and he's building again with Hydra. A Ravager first and going first for the fourth once again for the attack. There he is. Meanwhile, Protoss player is building Carrier. Carrier, one maybe not be so dangerous, but this force definitely yes. But multiple of them could be quite a different thing. There is the Zealots coming in. Finally we see them joining in the fray, and there is the first Carrier coming out. There are not enough Hydras to deal with the Interceptors, but the Carrier needs to be microed around not to get biled down. And the Zerg player falls back immediately as soon as he sees the Carrier. He needs Hydras in his force or some air units. He's going for +3 attacks, going for multiple Hydras and trying to remax or resupply his army. Meanwhile, Protoss player is going for +1 air, going for Mothership and 2 more Carriers, which might be quite a crucial force. Still holding himself to Archon and Stalker mostly. There is the Zealot run-by, which is trying desperately to get and check the possibility of the 5th or 6th base over here, which is not happening. Yeah, the Zerg player still is on 50 workers. He needs more obviously, but still holding strong. There is the Nidus to resupply the units, and there is the Mothership and three Carriers. Some biles are raining down, but they are pretty much only zoning, and the Mothership can cover the rest of units. There is no invisibility spotter, so there is no observer here to this army, so they cannot spot invisible units, which are then made by Mothership with the cloak. So that's not happening, but there are a respectable amount of Hydras over here, which could be dealing a damage. They still would be probably focusing the Mothership first, for sure. The biles are zoning it out pretty much. That's really pricey here. And yeah, the army has been cleared out pretty much. Yeah, the observers are joining in, but the Ravagers are dead. The pushing force here is done pretty much for the Zerg player. There is +1 attacks, +1 armors for air. There is +2 armors being researched. There is a little run by here coming to the 4th base. No, that's a 3rd, I believe, for the Protoss player. There is actually 7th base being taken by the Protoss right now. Those 2 Carriers are continuing, 3 Carriers are continuing their march, and there is a 4th joining in. So this Death Ball is taking the attack, and GG's called by Kalyxo, and Teino takes game number 1. Let's jump into the game number 2. Wrong side, to be honest. There you go. That is the Protoss player from Shango, Teino, which he took the map 1, and he is now playing Protoss pieces in red color here on the upper right corner on Old Republic, and he's dropping pylon in natural as per standard, and he is playing against DeVoid Kalyxo, which is playing Zerg in purple colors here on the left bottom corner. So the first game was more intense, I believe, in macro from Kalyxo. Really good performance with the biles and zoning biles of Roaches and Ravagers. But I believe that was pretty cost inefficient, I would say. There was not enough forces to deal with the transition, and the economy was too far behind, because Teino did manage to sneak out the 4th base or the 5th base while the 4th base was under attack and actually saturated, while Kalyxo stayed on his own 4 bases, and he actually managed to lost like a 3rd base saturation completely there in the midst of it all, or somewhere before to the Zealot run by, and that was super painful for Zerg. And yeah, that's what it is. Okay, this is something interesting. Teino is opening up with the 3 gates. He has double pylons and he's chrono boosting Zealot right now. And there's actually links, so it looks like Kalyxo was going for 12 pull? Question mark. Going for aggression himself, so that is response to Kalyxo's move to go for pull first build. Zealot did let the links slip in. No, they did not choose to run in to that base, and they keep attacking the gateway. So the 3rd gateway was built to block the Zerglings from coming in. Now there is gateway and cybercore, but this gateway will go down and there will be opening over here which will allow Zerglings to walk in. And GG is called from Teino's side. Kalyxo takes game 2 with aggressive. I believe that was a 12 pull. I didn't pay attention, sorry for that. Missed that. But it was definitely super aggressive link flood. And nevertheless, we are looking at the main base of Kalyxo. This is game 3 in the finals, in the best of 5, in the DeVoid monthly tournament. And for some reason I did shut down the other vision, which is Shango Teino, who is playing the Protoss here in orange colors on the right upper corner. To be honest, I have no idea if we were counting or were not counting. I don't think we were counting, as far as I know. I think we started from 0-0, even though it's upper bracket. I know that some people are doing that. I think in amateur league tournament it's never like that. I think it starts from 0-0, nobody takes care about that. Well, anyways, for some reason the Protoss player is thinking that the 3rd base is going to be there, although the 3rd base is definitely over here. That's the closest one. But no, the probe is going around. Anyways, this is not looking like any aggressive opening here from the Zerg player, from Kalyxo. And nor it does look like one from Teino right now. At least there are no pull first, there is no multiple gateways, no forges, no cannons. And actually Kalyxo chooses this to be his 3rd, which is, I think that's quite a bigger distance than this 3rd. Maybe he was expecting that this is gonna be blocked, maybe that was the case. But anyways, Overlord for the Zerg player is spotting what's coming. There is a Stalker over here from the Protoss player that will try to get rid of the Overlord. Will it successfully manage? Yes, it did, and it's on hold position probably, so it's not visible without air units for the Stalker. So that's all, and that's it. The tech of choice is Twilight Console here from the Protoss player. He's going to try to still hunt that Overlord, but that's not gonna happen. The probe is looking if there is another base coming up, which is not the case. For some reason, Kalyxo is going for Evolution Chamber. That's going to start with +1 early. This is something which I'm not familiar personally with. I think I know what it means, and I think I recognize that, and I think I might steal that in my own games. So they are going for early. It's like the speed first and then the next 100 gas, pretty much, without pulling the drones off the gas, just going for Evo and going for +1. When it is going to be effective? Question mark. Well, if there is Stalkers, obviously. If there is Adepts, it's kind of questionable, but Adepts actually could be hold with that. And look what is the choice or tech of choice here from the Protoss player. He's going for Glaives, he's building Robotics Bay, and he has one more gateways, and he has warped in 6 adepts, and don't know what will follow up that, but those 6 adepts will arrive on the other side when the glaives will be finished. The links run into these adepts. There is no third base, so there is nothing to deny for these links. They can only attack for the adepts, and they are going to that. And they don't have the +1 yet, and they are dealing pretty damn good damage. It's like a big amount of them, and that's really strong here for the Zerg player. Meanwhile, Zerg is going for lair. No drones attached. There is a lot of links. There is a lot of overlords now attached, so it's like freeing up supply for more army just in case. Meanwhile, the Protoss player is going for gateway explosion, and no research on Twilight Console right now, so probably the default response. There's observer here revealing the overlord, which is getting teased by these sentries down. Yeah, the tech of choice would probably for the Protoss player would be to go for charge, which would be kind of logical because Zerglings, right? Well, meanwhile, Kalyxo actually is guilding Baneling's Nest, and he is actually getting 4 gases saturated, and he has almost like fully saturated his 3rd. So drone-wise, the economy-wise, the Zerg player is ahead quite a bit. The question is, what's gonna be the move out here from the Protoss, if it's going to be one. He's making War Prism. He has couple of adepts, couple of immortals and adepts. The force fields are defending the ranged units here pretty good. Is there any other upgrades? No, there is any other upgrades. Is no upgrades, but the surround was denied for the Zerglings, and there are more adepts being warped in. There is War Prism following it up, and here comes the push. The Bane speed is being researched, the Banes are researched. There is Hydrogen in Infestation Pit right now from the Zerg player, and he's producing a big amount of links and some Banes for defense. The Banes will not have the speed. There is actually +1 ranged attacks for Hydras, and also ranged for Hydra upgrades, so there is no speed, but everything else is there. The Banes are here, Banes are blowing up, successfully blew up half of the army. I would say the biggest part of the army, actually most of the army is done. That was efficient, or maybe not, don't know. Yeah, it was actually efficient, look at that. It's 5 Banes took down. It was not 5, it was more than 5, definitely. That was a big amount of Banes, which were, I guess they were not killed, they were just exploding in the force. But there needs to be resupply of units, but instead the Zerg player has decided to actually drone up his 4th base right now, which might cost him quite a lot here, because those drones are going to be hunted down by adepts, and there are more adepts shading in. There's some Banes rolling out here to defend against the adepts. Quite a good surround to shut down those, but these adepts are clearing out the 4th base here for Kalyxo. There are 8 Hydras joining in the party. I don't know where they are. Some of them are here, some of them are still in production. And they are trying to do something. They don't have the movement speed. The +2 ranged attacks have been started researching for the Zerg player. But I don't believe that's gonna give him any advantage right now, because he needs to defend his mineral lanes, which are under attack here by more and more adepts. And it looks like GG is called, and Teino takes game number 3. So we are jumping in game number 4. So we are back at the finals, the matchup between these two guys. So you're looking at the main base of Shango Teino, who is playing the Protoss in orange colors here on the bottom right corner on Winter Madness Ladder Edition. And he is facing DeVoid Kalyxo, who is playing Zerg here in purple colors on the left upper corner. As you know from previous games, these guys are playing in finals in the DeVoid monthly tournament, the last monthly of the year of 2025. It's 14th of December, and they have a rematch right now. This is interesting. This is very interesting. I want to see what's it going to be. Nevertheless, Kalyxo is sending out a drone suspiciously, but he is building the spawning pool and everything's fine. So he went for 12 pool in the second game. There is actually a probe now from the Protoss player arriving and scouting out. The opener pretty much is quite standard, so it's going to be pylon with a gate. Is this the place? Question mark? Maybe. Who knows? That is an interesting choice for sure, but that's just making the games more interesting in my opinion. Nevertheless, Teino did pretty good job, I think, in the game number 2. And game number 3, yeah, pretty much now Kalyxo fell on the fact that he was going for the... He was droning up his 4th base and he just made a lot of drones. I'm usually doing that, like making like full mineral line of drones, just maxing out, while actually the opponent is actually attacking by that point. And therefore I don't have larva, I don't have minerals, I have nothing to defend myself, and everything is going to the pretty much the worst position possible. I think still the Kalyxo could have kept himself on a Ling Bane there, and that would have been really decent, even if he went up for more. He's actually building a 3rd base, so that might be hidden 3rd, which is really cool, I would say. The tech of choice here again from Teino is spreadsheet worthy, that he is going for Twilight Council once again, and he is making out that he's making gateway number 2. So that might be the case where we could outplay with spreadsheet. But Kalyxo actually previously started really strong. He started with the Lings, he started with +1 pretty fast, and he was pumping out Lings quite enough, and was catching out adepts before they actually got the glaives upgrade and could have managed to go inside the bases to do any economical damage. And it was again followed by 2 immortals and more adepts with some sentries. So even if he went for more and more Lings with more and more upgrade, like getting +2 and Lings, maybe the sentries would have force fielded from surround, which one fight they definitely didn't, but it didn't end up, I think it wouldn't end up in the Protoss favor, because Lings can really quickly pull out of the attack and then go back in. Well, Kalyxo is acting like he's going for 3rd. He's now poking down the probe. The queen is here. He actually scares the probe away. The Protoss player is pulling back, expecting that there is a 3rd base, while there actually are roaches being built right now. More drones being built here in the proximity. The adepts are starting their trip over the map. There's going to be 4 of them, followed up by 2 sentries. This is quite a common. There is robotics facility probably. Yeah, we have seen this particular strategy from the Protoss player already a few times. There is the evolution chamber. The roaches are not gonna block the shades, but roaches can block the physically adepts from entering the natural base. There's a couple more roaches joining in. Roaches are split up to be defending against the shades. The shades are shading in the different sides, so one in a maze and one in a natural. The main base has gone down and the natural also has gone down. Following up push is going to be probably, yeah, there is a gateway explosion. There's going to be double immortal, stalker, adept, warp prism question mark, something like that, but it's still a glaives only research for the Protoss player here. There is no researches for the Zerg done yet, and he just started +1 ranged. And a little bit of droning in the 3rd, much more droning here in the proximity, which is really cool. A little bit oversaturation over here, but that's alright. Some more overlords, some free space, and there are a little bit of roaches. The army supplies right now is pretty equal, but I think that Protoss player is definitely grouping up for one more attack, and immortals are doing really good against roaches. Meanwhile, the Zerg player again is droning heavily, so he's droning his third, which actually is his fourth. So he has this income passively, and he is droning right when the Protoss player actually is moving out with his army. The army supplies are not that big of a difference. There is 5 difference, but that's counting the 8 roaches coming up right now. Actually 9. So there is more roaches being built. The Protoss player is afraid to show himself, I guess, on the creep right now. Okay, now he is showing himself. He has sentries to block the roaches. With the force fields, he has immortals to deal damage to roaches. Well, pretty much the Zerg player now has to play onto the fact that he's getting his +1 ranged attacks in 10 seconds. If he gets that, then he has some advantage. Even some drones are being pulled right now. Here comes the roach attack. The force fields are dropped. The push is still happening. The +1 ranged upgrades have been finished. Some lings are joining in. Some roaches are being built here. There is much more army supply for the Zerg player, but as we know, the Protoss units are much stronger. There's 10 more roaches being built, and then the ling speed actually joining in here. There is, I believe there is 3 immortals, no, it's 2 immortals, which is quite strong. So the trades, I think, are going in favor of Protoss player, although not. But still, because of the immortals and stalkers, the roaches, you need like a lot bigger roach amount to deal with them. Like you need a lot more roaches than that. And movement here, like stutter stepping, is not a good idea. Unfortunately, Zerg player is not winning because of that. He's pulling the drones from the natural, actually, also to go in, and also from the third. So that's gonna be a lot of drones lost over here in the process of that, and looks like the Zerg has given up a little bit, I believe. Yeah, that's 21 drones going down. GG's called. Teino takes game 3. It's 3-1, and Teino wins tournament.